Because he says hundreds of $millions in local businesses. What about New Haven businesses? Are we talking about the Fusco Corporation making hundreds of millions of dollars? Are we talking about people here in New Haven? I think that's the question you need to ask. You just be careful because he's also doing this push-pull thing where he's calling up and telling people that I'm trying to sell fire trucks when in fact he closed an engine in East Rock. So he's trying to blame me for stuff that he's already doing. I'm not mayor, so he is. We also have unemployment rate. It's actually 13.1 is the official rate. The real rate is around 18 to 20% according to the mayor. I think that's a real point of concern. So if this is all this wonderful stuff that he's talking about, where are the jobs for people here in New Haven? Under economic development here, we don't have economic development for people that live here. We have real suffering, and that's what the policies have been there. Now, when we get to 3060 State Street, that's great. That's not a bad thing for the city of New Haven. But we need to make sure that we're supporting small businesses. We have an economic development department that didn't do so good. So what do? Instead of getting rid of the people who aren't doing the job, no, we start a whole other economic development department. That's how we do things in the mayor's office. Instead of holding people accountable and finding people to get the job done, we just add on to it. And so that's not helping. And if you ask anybody who's had a small business, and you go down to EDC or the Economic Development Department, there's no help for small businesses. We have, small businesses are the engine for driving jobs in the country. We have a place like Sandra's second generation that employs the whole family and the fiance as well. These kinds of things provide support and economic development for people here in New Haven. And I think that's what we need to do, support local businesses to get things done. I grew up, my dad was a truck driver, mom cleaned houses. They worked really hard so I have opportunities. This is another part of economic development for people and about jobs, is actually giving them a quality education. Again, I mentioned earlier that we have people dropping out, we're called dropout factories. This has prevented people from being able to get jobs. I worked hard, my wife worked hard. She actually was working in a sweatshop when she was 9 years old in New York City. We worked hard, she went to the library every day after school and studied. She was able to be successful. I worked hard too. I've delivered newspapers since I was 9 years old. I've always worked hard jobs. And I think that we need to find ways to help people who have a vision for creating a job. And so maybe our economic development should have money set aside to help people give small grants to people who have a vision for how they can actually hire more people that are here in New Haven. We need to make sure that we're also not hurting businesses. We have a tax assessor that, if you followed the news last year, it's been abusive to the people here in New Haven. Small businesses have been abused by this mayor, and he brought that guy in specifically for that job. We also have shakedown artists that are marshals that go around and say that you owe tax bills that you don't even owe. This has all been documented. And what does the mayor do to that person? You would think, oh my God, this guy would get fired or sent to jail. No, he gives them a couple weeks off and come back and work again. So this is the kind of thing that we have that's prevented businesses, and also the taxes have been too high that makes it unattractive for many businesses to come and locate here.
Thank you.